Hey guys, so you guys should already have these notes. I think some of you guys have more than others, so I just want to make sure that you guys have the complete notes. So if you go to page R71, everyone should have these notes already. Please make sure that you do. I think period 1, you guys were good to go, but period 6, I'm going to go ahead and review them for both periods anyway. Okay, so the last thing we were talking about was that slope is a measure of steepness. So we talked about the different kinds of slopes that you would see. So here we know we have a positive slope because from left to right, the line is decreasing, right? And this is a negative slope, again, because from left to right, the line is decreasing. And then you have the vertical lines. Whenever you have a vertical line, guys, again, there's no slope, right? This is a undefined no slope, and we'll see what that looks like when we actually calculate it in a second. Next, we have a zero slope. So zero slope, again, that's like the floor that we actually walk on every day, the ground that we walk in. So that would be a zero slope. Okay, so I think you guys already have this, so I'm just going to go ahead and take these off. Slope is sometimes referred to as the rate of change. So please just know that sometimes when you see rate of change, especially the Smarter Balance test, always has rate of change and doesn't really have anything else. They don't really refer to it as slope. They call it the rate of change. Okay, and again, we know that when we have some kind of rate of change, like if we want to plot a line, right? We're talking about linears here. These are all lines. See that? So we're talking about linear functions. We know that that we need 2 points to graph a line, right? So slope is sometimes referred to as the rate of change between 2 points. And we know that the letter m, and we know this already because we worked a lot with y equals mx plus b. We know that the m is actually the slope of the line. Okay, next, if you're given how many points? I think we already talked about this. If you're given 2 points, you may find the slope of the line using the slope formula. Now, I gave you guys a formula. Here's a formula. We have m, which is slope, right, is equal to y2 minus y1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So I'm sorry, I should say y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So then we're going to get those, take the difference. We're going to subtract y sub 2 minus y sub 1. Then we're going to divide it by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Okay? Sometimes you may see it as this. So again, that's my formula. I just copied it because I'm going to go ahead and work with it with the problems down here. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Or you may see it as delta y, which is the change in y, or the rate of change in y, over delta x, which is the rate of change in x. Okay, so just so that you can see that. Again, you're just finding out what's the difference between both of the points. Okay, so here's an example. We worked this one out last time. And the first thing I told you guys to do was to go ahead and label the points. So when you're labeling, this is my first point. You know that that's an x and that's a y, right? Any order pair that you're given, that's an x and that's a y. So because we know that, we also know since we're given 2 points, we also have an x and a y here. Now that's x sub 1 and that's y sub 1, and the reason I'm saying sub 1 is because it's from my first point. Okay, over here this is my second point, so x sub 2 y sub 2. What you're going to go ahead and do, you're going to go ahead and plug it into the formula. So y sub 2, what is it? Y sub 2 is 3 minus y sub 1. Y sub 1 is 13. Okay, so once you do that, you're going to go ahead and down here, you want to go ahead and plug these points in as well. So x sub 2 minus x sub 1, your x sub 2 is negative 14, and your x sub 1 is negative 2. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and plug those in, and here's what it's going to look like. Again, and I already worked this one out. So again, y2 minus y1, y sub 2, which is 3 minus y sub 1, 3 minus 13. 3 minus 13, that's what I had in green, okay? And then at the bottom, x sub 2 minus x sub 1, negative 14, x sub 2 minus negative 2. negative 14 minus negative 2. And you see, I still kept both negatives, right? It's minus negative. So x sub 2 minus x sub 1, negative 14 minus negative 2. That's what I have here. So the next thing you know, you have to do is keep change, or same change, as some might say. So we have 3 minus 13. That's going to change to 3 plus negative 13. And then we have negative 14 plus positive 2. We do the, again, we're going to change these signs here, okay? Okay, so now what do we have? 3 plus negative 13 is going to give you negative 10. And negative 14 plus 2 is negative 12. You're going to go ahead and simplify these. Divide it by negative 2. And you're left, again, negative 10 divided by 2 is 5. Negative 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay? So that's your final answer. The slope is 5 over 6. And again, we already know when we're talking about slope, this is the rise. So if we were to graph this, we would go up 5 and then go to the right 6. Okay? Now I'm going to do the second one, but I'm actually going to write the second one down so that you guys are following me as I'm doing this one. Because this is a very special circumstance. So let's say I have, I bring my colored pens here. So I'm going to use my black pen. Okay, so let's say I have 25 as my first point and 20, negative 12. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and again label them. I have x sub 1, and, that's y sub 1. And on this one is x sub 2 and y sub 2. Okay, so again, the formula is this one over here. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1. Y sub 2, this is negative 12, minus y sub 1. And use negative 12 minus 5 all over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So my x sub 2 is 20 minus x sub 1, which is 20. So 20 minus 20. And again, I'm going to go ahead and do the keep change, or the same change, right? So I'm going to go ahead and change this. I have negative 12 plus negative 5. That's going to be a negative 17. And over here, 20 minus 20, that's going to give me a 0. When you're doing this, and if you ever get 0 at the bottom, you can never divide by 0. You can have 0 on the top, right? Like if I said, hey, if I had this, 0 divided by negative 17, or whatever number, I'm just going to make it like if I had like 0 divided by 10. It's like if I said, hey guys, I have $0 and I'm going to go ahead and split it up with 10 of you guys. So 0 divided by 10, I could do that, right? Because I have $0 to split up, and everyone would just get $0, right? But here is different. I'm saying you're trying to divide by 0. You're saying, hey, I'm going to divide this by 0, but you can't ever divide by 0. Whenever you get this is an example of an undefined slope. So what is your undefined slope going to look like? Oh, sorry, this is an undefined slope. So what is that going to look like? Undefined slope, again, we know that the line, if we were to graph, it's going to look something like this. Okay, so that is, again, this is a slope formula. It helps us calculate the slope. Like in this case, we got the rise was 5 and the run was 6. Whenever you divide by 0, that's when you get an undefined slope. Okay, so this is another example up here. Like if you ever had 0 over 10, that you could divide. That would be a 0 slope, and that would look something like that. Okay, guys, we'll go ahead and get to work. Please make sure that all the problems get done today. They must get done today. I will be closing them soon, okay? So just make sure you get those done. Otherwise, you won't be able to do them later. If you have any questions, please go ahead and send me a note. I'll be checking my emails, and maybe I can try to send you guys some other links, okay? But please, before I even do that, please make sure that you're checking with the people around your area to go ahead and help you, and hopefully you can get the help you need. All right, guys. I will see you guys soon. Please make sure to do the work. Bye-bye.